Hey guys, if you didn't finish your homework from Friday, turn that into the hotspot. If you did turn it into on Friday, take it from the tray and turn that into the hotspot as well. Then get out your journal, calculator, and pouch and glue in this half-sheet warm-up. It should only take you about a couple minutes, so go ahead and work on that, and when everyone's done, we'll go over the answers. Alright, let's go ahead and get started. So number 1 says the y-intercept that 3 lines share. So if I look at the y-axis, it looks like this is the point that all 3 lines share, and that point would be 0, 1. We always write it as an ordered pair, so I'm going to take my ruler, draw a line to go from 0 to 1, and that looks like it goes through I. So I'm going to go ahead and put that there because we want to figure out what did the circle say. Number 2, the line which has the same slope as line A. So if I look at line A right here, okay, it has a negative slope, so I know it can only be matched up with C and B. And if I do rise over 1, it's going down 1 over 1, which means C should match up. So C matches up with line A. So again, I'm going to draw a line from the little diamond to my answer, which is M. Number 3, the x-intercept of line E. So here's line E. The x-intercept would be -1, 0. Because again, we want to write that as an ordered pair. That's going to go through letter A. Number 4, the line that appears parallel to line C. So line C is here. It's negative slope, so I know that something that's parallel also has to be negative, and we actually found that line A and C have the same slope, which makes that parallel to each other. So the line that appears to be parallel to line C would be line A, which goes through R. Number 5, the slope of line E is. So here's line E. I know it's going up from left to right, so I'm going to pick 2 points. I'm going to start with the farthest left one. I'm going up 1 over 1, so 1 over 1, which means my slope here is 1. So that matches up with 1. And I draw my line. It goes through the letter O. Number 6, the slope of line B is, so line B is a negative slope, and if I pick 2 points, let's pick this point and this point, I'm going down 1 over to the right 4, so the slope here is -1/4, and that goes through letter U. Number 7, the line with a slope that's greater than 1. Okay, so it looks like I have line E and line D left over. So greater than 1, I know that the slope of line E is 1 because we already figured that out. Let's figure out the slope of line D. So I'm going to pick this point, which is the y-intercept, and I'll choose this point. I'm going to go up 2 over 1, which gives me the slope of 2 over 1. So line D has a slope that's greater than 1. So I'm going to go ahead and draw my line there. It goes through N. And the last one, the line which appears perpendicular to line C. Remember, perpendicular means it makes a 90-degree angle. So here is line C. It looks like the one that's perpendicular would have to be probably line E. And that's the only one we have left. So I'm going to go ahead, connect those two. And the letter it goes across is D. So what did the circle say? The circle said I'm around. Okay, so that was your warm-up. Just to go over some things that we've looked at. Your homework should already be graded, so let's go ahead and get started. In your journal, on the next page, I want you to head this 3-5 standard form. And today is October 17th. And go ahead and label that in your table of contents. And then we will begin. Okay, so what this whole Unit 3 is about is over linear equations. Okay, we've looked at two forms of linear equations, slope-intercept form and point-slope form, and today we're going to learn the third form, which is standard form. However, you have to know that all of these deal with linear equations and linear functions. Okay, remember, linear means it actually has the word in it. Has the word line in it. It makes a straight line. Because what makes it have a straight line? Okay, between all the points it has a constant rate of change, which creates that straight line. So it makes a straight line because of the constant rate of change. So again, today we're focusing on the third form of linear equations that we can write them in. But let's review the two that we do know first. So we know that linear equations can be written in three ways. Okay, the first way is what you learned last year in 7th grade pre-AP. What we already reviewed, and it's the most common form of linear equations, and that's y equals mx plus b. Now the name for this, what's the name of this form? Okay, slope-intercept form, because m is the slope, b is the y-intercept. So this is called slope-intercept form. Go ahead and highlight that, slope-intercept. Now remember, this is the basic, this is the one that we're most likely going to use and convert to, because why would we convert it to slope-intercept form? What have we talked about? This is the easiest way to plug in our calculator, to figure out the table, to figure out other solutions, to figure out a whole bunch of other things. So we always want to convert as much as we can to slope-intercept form. Okay, again, it's called slope-intercept form because the m represents the slope and the b represents the y-intercept. The second way that you can write linear equations is what we just learned, and that is y minus y1 equals mx minus x1, and this is called our point slope form, because again we're given a slope and we're given a point. So go ahead and highlight, this is point slope form. And again, we use this when we're given a point that's on the line, or a solution. It's usually given to us as an ordered pair, and the slope. Now we're able to figure it out using the slope-intercept form, because that's what you had to do first when I gave you a point and a slope. But again, they created this form because it's a lot easier to convert to figure out the slope-intercept form from point-slope form. And then the third form, which we're learning today, is called standard form. Before I tell you what it is, let's look in our formula chart. So inside cover, and we're going to look at the linear. Okay, again, it's the first one, which is standard form. Now this is how I remember it. Ax plus by is equal to c. Ax, like you're cutting down a tree with an axe. By, like an author, this book is by whoever, and then c. So ax plus by is equal to c. That's what helps me remember. We know slope-intercept form, we know point-slope form, and we know slope of a line. So after today, you should know everything in the category underneath linear equations when it comes to your formula chart. So let's talk more in depth about the standard form. Okay, standard form again is ax plus by is equal to c. Now notice the A, B, and C are all capital letters. And this is called standard form. And again, it's just another way of writing linear equations. So let's talk about some parameters and characteristics of this formula. Okay, like I said, A, B, and C are capital letters. And what A, B, and C are, they are real numbers. Okay, another thing is A and B can't both be 0, but one can be 0 at a time. Okay, which means, write that down first and then I'll explain it. A could be 0, and 0 times x would cancel that out. So that's going to leave me with just by is equal to c. Or b could be 0. That will cancel out because 0 times y would cancel that out. And I'd be left over with ax is equal to c. Okay, we also know that x and y are going to be the variables. Okay, and they can't be combined. Okay, I just put x and y can't be combined. They're not like variables. I can't combine like terms here. And we know that this is a linear equation because, again, when you identified if it was linear or not, okay, we know that the x and the y have exponents of 1. Okay, so today we're really just focusing on converting from standard form to slope-intercept and slope-intercept to standard. We're going to talk more about everything else we can find with standard form, but I just want to make sure that we know how to convert because that's what's very, very important. So let's go ahead and start converting. So at the top of this page, I want you to write our standard form. So standard form again here is x plus y is equal to c. Okay, and what we're going to do is whatever I give you, we want to rewrite whatever formula I give you in standard form. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's go with 1y is equal to negative 2x plus 0. So this is in what form? This is in slope-intercept form. I have y equals mx plus b. Now the first thing I want to do is whenever we rewrite this into standard form, it's important that we identify what the a, b, and c are. So that's what we want to eventually do. We have to convert it first. So I want you at the top to draw your arrow or your line down the equal sign in a different color or the same one, it doesn't matter. And since I want it to end up being x plus y is equal to c, I'm going to write x plus y on the left side equals c on the right side. That's how it should end up looking when we're completely finished converting it. So I already know my by is over here because again the by would be 1y. I need to get my x, which is the a is always connected to the x variable. So I want to move this negative 2x. What do I do to move that negative 2x to the left side? All I have to do is add 2x. So I'm going to add 2x to both sides. And I'm going to rewrite what I have. So I have my x first. So 2x plus 1y is equal to 0. Now I have to check to see if that's in standard form. My x is 2x, my by is 1y, and my c here is 0. So I converted that to standard form. Now tell me what the a, b, and the c are. Okay, the a is always connected to the variable x, so the a here is positive 2. The b is always connected to the variable y, which would be 1. And the c here is 0. Okay, pretty easy so far. Let's keep going. So again, we're still converting everything to standard form. Try this one. Let's do 6x is equal to 3y minus 5. Okay, we're going to go ahead and draw your line down the middle. If we want to convert this to x plus by is equal to c, I'm going to write x plus by on the left side equals c on the right side. And I want to solve. So I notice I already have the ax on the left side. I need to get the y on the left side as well. Right now it's a positive 3y. So to move that to the other side, I have to take away 3y on the right. And I'm going to take away 3y on the left. So when I rewrite this, again I want it in standard form, so I'm going to put the 6x first. 6x minus 3y equals negative 5. X plus by is equal to c. It's in standard form. I'm done. Go ahead and tell me what the a, b, and the c represent. Okay, your a here should have been 6. Your b is negative 3. Remember, this is a negative 3, so I'm going to put negative 3 there. And my c is negative 5. Okay, let's try this next one by yourself. I'll give you a minute or two to work on that. Let's try negative 2y is equal to negative 3x plus 6. Again, you're going to work on this one by yourself. Go ahead. I want you right now to always write x plus by equals c on the top until you get this down. And then I want you to identify your a, b, and c at the end. Give you a minute to do that, and then when everyone's done, we'll push play to go over the answer. Okay, so if I'm looking at the equation that they gave me, the y is already on the left side, so I have to move the ax on the other. It's negative 3x, so I'm going to add 3x to both sides, which cancels out on the right. If I rewrite what I have 3x minus 2y is equal to positive 6. That's in my x plus by is equal to c. And the a here is what's attached to the x variable, so that's positive 3. The b here is negative 2. And the c here is 6. Okay, the last one we're going to do is, I'm going to give it a couple more steps. See if you can figure this one out. Okay, so the equation I give you is, let's do y minus 2 is equal to 6 parentheses x plus 3. So what form is this one in? This is point slope form. Remember, y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. So what I want you to do is try to figure out a way, and you can talk with your neighbor if you want, to convert this to standard form. So again, I'm going to write that up at the top. x plus bi is equal to c. Go ahead and try converting that to what you need it to end up being. Okay, again, work on this by yourself, then talk with your neighbor, and then whenever it's close to being finished, we'll go over the answer. So the first thing that I'm looking for here is I want to get rid of these parentheses. Number one, this first parenthesis, I don't really need it there. I don't know why I did that in the first place. So it's just going to be y minus 2. To get rid of these parentheses, what do I have to do with that 6? I'm going to have to distribute that 6 to everything inside. So 6 times x is 6x, and 6 times 3 is 18. So again, what I want to do here is just get this into standard form. So I notice that my y is already on the left side. My x is on the right side, so let's get the ax over here. So I'm going to subtract 6x on both sides, which leaves me with negative 6x plus y minus 2 is equal to 18. Now, if you notice, okay, this c doesn't have a variable. It doesn't have an x or a y. So that means my number, my constant, okay, should just be on the right side. So right now I have my x plus bi, but I have this negative 2. How do I get rid of that negative 2 and move it to this other side? All I have to do is add 2 to both sides, and I get my equation, negative 6x plus y is equal to 20, and that's in standard form. I have my x plus my bi is equal to c. So identifying your a, b, and c now, what's the a? A is negative 6. What's the b? Even though it's not written there, we know that there's one y there, so positive 1 would be the b, and c is 20. So one thing that you have to remember when we're converting any formula to standard form, put a double star here, is that the c, which is our constant, is always on the right side of our equation. So that was taking any type of equation and converting it to standard form. Now we're going to go backwards, and what I'm going to give you is a standard form, and you're going to convert that to slope-intercept form. So at the top, again, we're going to write our slope-intercept form, which is y is equal to mx plus b. And what we're going to do is we are going to rewrite whatever formula I give you. In this case, it'll be two standard form formulas in slope-intercept form. So let's start off with the first one. Again, I'm going to give you one in standard form. Let's say 12x plus 3y is equal to negative 6. And again, remember, we want to rewrite this to slope-intercept form. So, draw your line down the equal sign. What I should have left over on the left of the equal sign is just my y. And on the right should be mx plus b. Now remember, standard form doesn't have an m in it. So it's not like we can just pick out the m and put it on the other side. We have to use our steps to figure out, to convert it to slope-intercept form. So right away I notice the mx, okay, matches up with the ax very well. I want to get the x variable on that right side. So to get rid of that x variable, I'm going to take away 12x on the left, and I'm going to take away 12x on the right. which leaves me now with 3y is equal to negative 12x, I put the x first because of the mx, minus 6. Now it looks like it's in y equals mx plus b form, but again, we always want 1y. It's always 1y. So how do I get rid of this 3? What operation is happening between the 3 and the y? Okay, we're actually multiplying. So to get rid of the multiplication, we have to do the inverse operation, which would be division. So 3 divided by 3 gives you 1. Whatever I do to one side, though, I have to do it to the other side as well, the whole entire side. Which leaves me with this. Okay, again, if I divide the whole side by 3, I can really look at two separate fractions. Cover up that negative 6. What's negative 12 divided by 3? Okay, that gives me negative 4 over 1, and that x is attached to it. And then if I cover up the first term, negative 6 divided by 3 would be negative 2. Okay, going at this step right here, all I did, and you can write it this way, I always divide the whole thing by that number, but you could also write it like this, where it's negative 12x divided by 3 minus 6 divided by 3, so it's already separated for you. That's up to you. It's whatever works best. But either way, negative 12 divided by 3 would be negative 4x. Negative 6 divided by 3 is negative 2. So that is my equation. It's in 1y equals mx plus b. So if I asked you what is the slope and what's the y-intercept, you would tell me that the slope here is negative 4 and the y-intercept here is negative 2. Okay, that's why we need to convert into slope-intercept form. Maybe they give me standard form and they say, what's the y-intercept? Well, the only way to figure that out would be to convert it to slope-intercept form, graph it, or look at that b. Okay, try this one by yourself and then check with your neighbor. 4x plus 4y is equal to 20x minus 2. Again, I gave you this equation. I want you to convert it to slope-intercept form, which means I should have y on the left side and mx plus b on the right side when I'm done. So go ahead and take a second to do that, and then when you're done, check with your neighbor, and when everyone's close to being finished, then we'll go over the answers. Okay, so I noticed that my y is already on the left side. I have two x's over here. I have 20x on the right side, 4x on the left side. Now again, I want my x variables on the right side, so it makes more sense to move this 4x, which means I'm going to take away 4x on the left, and I'm going to take away 4x from the 20x, because these are like terms, so I can put them right underneath each other. So I have 4y left over on the left. 20x minus 4x is 16x, and that negative 2 just falls down. Last step is if I want it in y equals mx plus b, I need to have 1y, so I have to divide by 4 on the left, and I divide the whole thing by 4 on the right, which leaves me with y is equal to 16x divided by 4. 4 goes into 16 4 times, so it's really 4 over 1. And then I have negative 2 over 4, which simplifies to negative 1/2. So my answer here is going to be y is equal to 4x minus 1/2. What did you identify as the slope here? Slope here is 4, because again, it's always connected to the variable x. And my y-intercept here would be negative 1/2, or negative 0.5. Okay, so today we're just really focusing on converting from slope-intercept form to standard form to slope-intercept form, point slope to standard form, all of those things. So that's what your assignment's going to be about. Go ahead and put your notes away. And what I need you to do is get out a piece of paper. Go ahead and head that, and then I'll have someone come around and hand out the homework as you are heading your paper. So when you get the assignment, it looks like this. What I want you to do is take your highlighter, and the first 8, it says rewrite each equation in slope-intercept form. Okay, and then we give the slope and the y-intercept on the line that's provided. So whatever equation they give me, my answer should be in slope-intercept form. Okay, if I keep going, 9 through 14, I want you to highlight, rewrite the equation in standard form, which is x plus y is equal to c. So whatever equation I give you, it looks like all the equations are in what form? Slope-intercept form. You need to convert them to standard form. And then 15 and 16 are word problems that you have to identify the rate of change, the starting point, the equation in both forms, and then answering one question for that. So let's go and do number 1, just so you know what I expect. So on your paper that you headed, put number 1. I want you to write the equation, so x plus 3y equals -3. And just like we did in our notes, again, you're not going to be required to do this all the time, but I need to see that you know how to do it at least this first time. So draw your line down the middle. I don't care if you use a different colored pen or pencil or whatever. Okay, and we want to change this to slope-intercept form. So I'm going to write y is equal to mx plus b at the top. So looking at my equation, I need to get this x to this right side, so I'm going to take away x on both sides. And that leaves me with 3y is equal to -x minus 3. I need to get 1y, so I'm going to divide by 3 on both sides. And that leaves me with, I want to keep these as fractions too, so what number is really sitting in front of that -x? It's -1x. So I have -1/3 x, and then -3 divided by +3 is -1. Okay, that's in slope-intercept form, so I'm going to go ahead and circle my answer. And then off to number 1, I'm going to write down the equation that I get in slope-intercept form, which is y is equal to -1/3 x minus 1. And then I also have to identify the slope and the y-intercept. So from this equation, okay, my slope here is the m, which is -1/3. And my y-intercept here is -1. Okay, so you're doing that for 1 through 8. Everything should be converted to slope-intercept form. 9 through 14, you're converting to standard form. Okay, this is your homework, so you have the rest of the time in class to work on it today. And then whatever you don't finish will be your homework. Make sure you do not lose your work paper. You'll staple that to the back and turn that into the hotspot tomorrow right when you walk in. Have a great day.